Hi everyone, in this video we will understand what is string compression and how we can write a Java program to compress a given string. Okay, so what is string compression? String compression is nothing but reducing the size of a string, okay, by representing repeated characters with a shorter form. Okay, so let's understand with an example. If you see this is a string, right, having repeated characters. So we can represent this large string with a short string without losing its significance. Okay, let's see that. So after compressing it, we can see like this, right? So here A is repeated 3 times, so I can mention it as A3. That means A is repeating 3 times. So B is repeating 4 times, so I can mention it as B is repeating 4 times, that is B4. Similarly, C is repeating 5 times, so I can say C5. So this is a shortest form, right? So this is how we can compress string with repeating characters. So why string compression is required normally? Because by compressing the string, we can reduce the amount of memory or storage needed to store it. String compression is commonly used in various applications such as data compression algorithms, file compression utilities, network protocols, and text processing tasks. So normally we use string compression to reduce the size, which will reduce the amount of memory, right? Yes. So also it helps optimize memory usage, right? That means we are reducing the memory, right? So, and also due to the reduction of memory, that means since we are reducing the memory, it also helps reducing transmission time over networks. Because of the less size, it will reduce the transmission time also over networks anyway, and improves overall system performance. So that is why we choose string compression. Now in Java, how we can do string compression? Definitely interviewer will ask you to check your ability on string manipulation. Okay, we will see how we can write the code. So here I have created an empty method which is accepting string argument and it returns string. Okay, that means it will take the string, larger string, and it will compress the string and it has to return. That is how we have to write the logic here. So here this is a string example. If we take, we can think of the logic. Come on, how can we do? Just to think along with me. Okay, yeah. So first, anyway, what is the output we have to get for this? Can you guess? Here what is the output we have to get? A, how many times it is there? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, right? 8 times. So B, it is only 1, right? So B 1. C, how many times? 2 times, right? C 2. So this is the output we have to get. So to get this output, how can we write the logic? So anyway, we need to iterate through this string, each character, right? We need to iterate through each character, and we need to count the characters, right? That's for example, if you see here, A8 we have to get. So we need to count this A 8 times, right? That is possible only through iteration, right? So we will write one for loop for that. Okay, for int I equals to 0, I less than str dot length, okay, I plus plus. Okay, so this is the first step, right? We are good with this. So to store this result into one string, we need one more string, right? Yeah, since we are going to manipulate that string, I am choosing string builder instead of string object. Okay, because string is immutable. So if we try keep on appending, it will create new objects, right? So that's why I don't want that. I want only single object to store the result. So I am choosing string builder as the result. Okay, string builder. Okay, store the result. I am taking one string builder here. Okay, now if you see, if we have to increment the count, and that count we need to append to the character, so we need to store the count, right? So that for that I am taking one more. Okay, that is count variable. into count equals to 0. Okay, we are good, right? Now if you see this, we need to increment the count, right, for each iteration. Let's say for the first iteration I have to increment the count, for the second incrementation I have to increment the count. So I will increment the count for each iteration. So for example, if you see this 8 times, for the first 8 iterations the count will become 8, right? After reaching 8 we need to append 8 to a. How can we do this? So how can we know this? How can we know that we have to stop the count for this particular character? How can we know? If we compare the next character with the current character, that is if the next character is what, that is other than the first character, right? So if there is a difference between these two, the current character and the next character, then we can stop counting. Whatever the count we got so far with all these iterations, that count we can append to the current character, right? That is how we can do here. If let's say we will take the current character, that is char at, if it is not equals to the next character, what is the next character? I plus next index, right? I plus 1. If both are different, then we can stop the count and we can take that count. With these two we can append to the result, these two, right? How can we do that? We have append method, right, inside string builder class. So we can use the append method, and first we have to append the character. The character, how can we get? For example, if we are here at this location, we get the current character, that is this, right? This one we can append it actually here. And next we also need to append the count, right? So count, how can we get? So count, already we are incrementing, so the same count we can append here. So this will be repeated, but remember here, after counting these characters, then we have to freshly start the count for B. That means we have to reset this count here itself, right? Excuse me, right? This is done, we are good. So but if you see the last one, if you come to the last, if you try to access the next element, there is no next element, right? Then definitely we'll get the string out of bounds exception, right? So we will see that practically. Anyway, this result we need to return, right? So after for loop I will return the result, and this is a string builder, right? We need to convert it into string. If you run this, definitely we have to get the exception, right? Are we getting the exception? Yes, we are getting the exception, that is string index out of bounds exception, right? So that's why we need to handle this. Handling the last character is very important. So when we reach the last character, what we have to do? Simple. We have to check whether it is last character or not in every iteration. How can we check that? Simple. In the current, for example, if you see this I, you are reaching at I, right? If I plus 1, that means the next index is equals to length. What is the length? For example, here how many characters are there? 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 characters is there, that means length is 11. What is the index we will get? 10 only, right? But I plus 1 will become 11, right? So 11 is equals to 11. That means definitely there is no next character, we can say. If I plus 1 is equals to length, means definitely there is, that is the current I is nothing but the last index, right? So this is what we need to understand. If you add this condition, and if this condition is satisfied, we should not execute this condition, because I plus 1 will give string index out of bound exception. So we should not execute this. How can we keep executing this condition when we reach at the end of the character? If this is true, this should not be executed. Then what we can do? We can add our condition here. So what it will do? If this is true, then it will not execute this, because true is always true, right? So that's why it won't execute this condition. So that's why it will allow you to enter this if block. So we are good, right? So with this we will get the expected output, right? A8, B1, C2. We are good, right? Yes, we are good. I will show you one example here. For example, A, B, C. I got A, B, C here, let's say. Okay, for this input, what will be the output? A1, B1, C1, right? A1, B1. So which is larger size now? The compressed string is larger size, right? So this is the original string and this is the compressed string, and compressed string size is more than the original string, right? This is not good, right? So in such cases what we have to do is we need to compare the compressed string whether it is less than the original string or not. Like that we have to compare. If this is less than the original string, then only we have to return the compressed string, otherwise we have to return the original string. So for that we can add one if condition here. What we can do is, if the result dot length is less than the original length, right, then only return the result, otherwise return the same string. So if you add like this, we'll get the original string only as the output. So this is one condition we can add, right? Because here if you see AA, BB is there, so the same output we are getting, because A2, B2, C2 will become more than this, right? A2, B2, C2, C1, right? A2, B2, C1. How many characters? Same characters. Then what is the use of compression here? So that's why we can return the same string. Let's say if you have C here, then in this case it will become C2. Here again, how many characters are there? 6 characters are there, right? Here how many characters are there? 6 characters are there. What is the use? So we can return the same string again. Let's say if it increases more, in that case we can return the compressed string like this. So this is what we need to understand. Okay, here how many characters are there? 5 characters are there, and here C1 we have 6 characters are there, right? So it's better to return the same input string only in this case. So this is how we need to take care while compressing the string. This condition is important. Okay, so this is how we can compress the string, and also if the user passes null value or empty value here, we can return the same value. Instead of executing this entire logic, we can optimize the code. So let's say if the user passes null value, right, null value, okay, if the user passes null value, then we can return the same string. And what if user passes empty value or is empty? If it is empty also, we can return the same string. So we can optimize the code like this also. Okay, so this is how we can build the logic for compressing the string. Okay, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, comment, and if you have any questions, you can always comment in the comment section. I will definitely respond to your comments. Please share this logic with your friends, because this is very important question. Even this question is being asked in Amazon interviews also. Okay, thank you for watching.